already I have discussed the galvanic cell in my previous lecture, and why we are using electrolytic cell, the question arises over here. So I'm just going to give the answer of that question, why we use electrolytic cell. Because the situation is, in galvanic cell what we used to do, we used to carry out, we used to create the electric current while carrying out a spontaneous chemical reaction. Okay, here the same thing is getting in the opposite way. Okay, if you will see in electrolytic cell we used to carry out a non-spontaneous chemical reaction with the help of a electric current. Okay, so if you will see, I have told you two things. One is a spontaneous chemical reaction and another one is non-spontaneous chemical reaction. Before going to discuss the definition of electrolytic cell, I am going to discuss about the definition of spontaneous and non-spontaneous chemical reaction. A spontaneous and non-spontaneous chemical reaction. Okay, so I am writing here the spontaneous chemical reaction. So I think already you have studied this spontaneous chemical reaction in thermodynamics topic, but I am just giving a brief view of spontaneous chemical reaction. The reaction for which the Gibbs energy change delta G is less than 0, then this reaction will be called as the spontaneous chemical reaction. And now the question arises, the delta G is less than 0. How we can define the delta G, Gibbs energy? So I am just taking a simple example. Okay, just understand, you have 200 rupees in your hand. Okay, now one beggar come in front of you and he is asking to help from you, and you have given 100 rupees to that beggar, and now 100 rupees that has been left in your pocket. You have left with a 100 rupees. Now understand one thing, this amount of rupees you have left with you in your packet, and this amount of rupees you have given to the beggar. Okay, now what is the definition of delta G? If you will see, delta G, that is equals to delta H minus T delta H. My dear student, this is one of the basic things. Try to focus on the board only. If you will see, this is the part delta S that you are giving to the beggar. This is delta S 100 you are giving to the beggar, and this is 200 total rupees, means it is your whole energy. The total energy of your system is 200. You have 200 rupees. That is your total worth of your pocket. Now you have given 100 rupees to the beggar, and now you have left with the rupees of 100. That is equals to delta G. Now what is happening here? You are putting this 100 rupees in your pocket, and after that the amount of money which is being left in your hand, you are going to donate to the beggar. That is 100 rupees. So you are keeping this 100 rupees in your pockets for your survival of your life. Means for any system which used to take or which used to conserve their energy to survivability. Any system which is going to exist in the nature, that has to do some useful work, and for that useful work that requires some amount of energy, and that amount of energy they are going to live with it. Okay, that's why you are putting this 100 rupees in your hand, in your pocket. That's why this will be called as the amount of energy, 100 rupees, this will be called as the Gibbs energy. Okay, so understand one thing, for a spontaneous chemical reaction, why delta G should be less than 0? Means if delta G should be less than 0, then this donating part, the amount of rupee which are going to be donated is more than the total amount of energy which is left inside with you. Okay, so for a spontaneous chemical reaction, understand one thing, if you have studied the chemical bonding topic, in that chemical bonding, if you will see the graph used to be like that, in this way. Okay, if this is reactant and this is product. Okay, since if you will see, I am just making the graph on the basis of reaction coordinate, and if you will see this graph, then I am just going to assume this is a reactant, this is the reactant, and this one will be product. This one will be product. I am assuming, suppose A is a reactant and B is the product, and in this graph you will see the energy of product is less as compared to energy of reactant. Okay, so if product energy, I am discussing about the potential energy only. Okay, because in our chemistry we have to discuss mainly about the potential energy part. Okay, that's why the potential energy of product B is less than the potential energy of reactant A. That's why the product B will be more stable. What is the meaning of these things? Means if a substance has less amount of energy, then that substance will be more stable. Okay, so stability is inversely proportional to the energy, potential energy of that substance. So the same thing which is going to happen over here, if the substance will have less amount of energy, then that substance will be more stable. So for a spontaneous chemical reaction, means if you will see, if there is a reactant A which is getting converted into product, so the product should have a less amount of energy, it will contain less energy, and the reactant will contain more amount of energy, then these things, if you will see the delta G is equals to Z, potential energy of product minus potential energy of reactant, all these things will happen, that should be less than 0, then this reaction will be spontaneous. And if the reaction is spontaneous, then it will continuously forming the product, okay, B. So this was the basic part of the spontaneous chemical reaction. Okay, this was the spontaneous chemical reaction that we are using in the galvanic cell for the creation for the preparation of electric current. Okay, for the generation of electric current. Now understand the non-spontaneous chemical reaction. The same thing with in opposite way. I am just writing here, that is non-spontaneous chemical reaction. Okay, now understand one thing. If a chemical reaction has to be spontaneous, then the Gibbs energy change should be less than 0. Now for a chemical reaction, I am suppose reactant A is getting converted into product, and this is a non-spontaneous chemical reaction. Then for non-spontaneous chemical reactions, delta G is greater than 0. It will be positive. It will be positive. Then the reaction will be called as the non-spontaneous chemical reaction. Then you will be thinking like that ki there must be a driving force that used to apply here so that the reaction will start producing the product. Okay. So for this particular reaction, you have to empathize with another driving force, and that driving force will be giving with the help of electric current. Okay, and so that's why the non-spontaneous chemical reaction is we will be carrying out a spontaneous chemical reaction via electric current with the help of non-spontaneous chemical reaction. These things we have to do in the electrolytic cell. Okay, so understand one thing now. If you are going to use non-spontaneous chemical reaction to carry out non-spontaneous chemical reaction in electrolytic cell, then definitely the driving force will be the electric current. So I think it's very clear to all of you. Next, what will be the driving force for the electrolytic cell for the non-spontaneous chemical reaction? So that driving force will be the electric current. Now I am going to the on the construction part of the electrolytic cell. So just try to understand the construction. If you think about the construction part, then definitely you have to take a beaker, this types of vessel you have to take, and you have to take 2 electrodes. Okay, this will be 2 electrodes. Now you have to put electrolytic solution, or I will discuss later on the electrolytic solution about the electrode. This is electrode. Okay, now you are going to connect this electrode with the help of a battery. Okay, now you have connected this electrolytic cell with the help of a battery. Now function of battery is already I have told you, it will supply the electric current, it will create a potential difference, okay, throughout the system. Now understand one thing, 2 parts I have written over here. First part is electrode, second part is electrolyte, and the third part will be medium. Okay, these things, 3 things that you have to understand in this part. Okay, so I am going to define or discuss each and every part categorically. First I am going to discuss about the electrode. That is electrode. And if you will see, already I have discussed in the galvanic cell, there are 2 types of electrode that we are going to use in electrolytic cell or galvanic cell. First electrode will be called as the anode, and second one will be called as the cathode. These 2 things that I am going to discuss over here. Okay, now understand one thing. And I have discussed on the cathode, the reduction reaction will take place, and on anode oxidation reaction used to take place. Means on the anode there will be a loss of electron, and on the cathode there will be a gain of electron. Okay, these things you have to focus on that. Now understand one thing. This is the electrode. Now I am going to assume it. This is anode, and I am assuming it. This is cathode. Okay, this thing only. So if it is cathode, then definitely there must be a reduction reaction, and if it is anode, then the oxidation reaction will be taking place over here. Okay. So understand one thing. If now I am going to discuss about the electrolyte, and again I will come to this part, okay? Because if I want to be discussing electrolyte, because we are using electrolyte, and after electrolyte will get break with the help of electricity, and after that all the thing mechanism will be happening. So I am going to discuss about the electrolyte first. So how will you define the electrolyte? So electrolyte are the substance which conducts electricity in the molten state or an aqueous solution. So a substance electricity or in aqueous solution. Okay, you can define the electrolytes in this way. So understand two things. I have written the two things, that is, one is molten state and one is aqueous solution. So I am defining it in a very concise way: molten state and it is an aqueous solution. So these two things are different. Okay, so if you think about the molten state, just I am assuming the NaCl solution. How can you prepare the molten solution of NaCl? So for the preparation of molten NaCl, you have to heat this NaCl up to that temperature of a boiling point. You are going to heat the NaCl up to its boiling point, then it will get converted into the molten state. So this was the one part. Now, if you are going to prepare aqueous solution of NaCl, then how will you prepare? So you have to take water as a solvent, and you are putting NaCl in it. Now, okay. So in this way you can prepare the NaCl aqueous solution. Now understand one thing. We will be using this part because this is important thing. We will be using in the notation part of the electrolytic cell. There we will use. So in molten state, if you have to write the concentration, then you don't need to write the concentration. Why? Because you are going to prepare the NaCl molten solution by heating NaCl at its boiling point, and due to this reason it will be in the pure form. So there is no any another substance which is going to exist in this solution. So you don't need to write the concentration part. Now, when it comes to the aqueous solution part, because we are going to prepare the aqueous solution of NaCl with the help of water. Okay. So here there must be a concentration part. Okay. What? So if the question is asking 0.5 molar aqueous solution of NaCl. So 0.5 molar, that is the molarity, and you all know this is the molarity is a types of concentration. Okay, so we can define the concentration in different format. So molarity is one of the format in which we can define the concentration term. So 0.5 molar aqueous solution means in 1 liter solution 0.5 moles of NaCl will be existing. Okay, so this was the part. Already I have solved these things in the solution topic. If you will see my video, previous video of the solution, then definitely you will be able to understand all these concentration term. Already I have discussed in very concise way. Okay, so just go to on that video of the solution, you will be able to grasp everything. So this was the part of the electrolyte. Now I am just going to discuss the types of electrolyte. This was the a state of electrolyte and how we will be preparing these two types of electrolytes. Okay. Now I am going to discuss about the types of electrolyte. There are generally we used to study two types of electrolyte. One is a strong electrolyte and one is weak electrolyte. So a strong electrolyte and weak electrolyte. Thus, I am going to discuss about the strong electrolyte. So, a strong electrolyte, just I am assuming AB is an electrolyte and it is getting dissociated in A plus and B minus. Okay, it is getting dissociated in A plus B minus when electricity is passed through it in the aqueous solution. Okay, so if it is going to dissociate it fully, means AB is going to dissociate it for this one, alpha is equals to 1, means alpha is degree of dissociation. If the degree of dissociation for electrolyte is equals to 1, then that electrolyte will be called as the strong electrolyte. Now, weak electrolyte, I am just going to assume another examples of A and C, which is going to dissociate in A plus C minus. Okay, if alpha for this electrolyte is very less than 1, then this electrolyte will be called as the weak electrolyte. Okay, so if you will see, if this electrolyte, a strong electrolyte, is getting dissociated in A plus B minus, so the number of moles of AB, if the number of moles of this electrolyte is 2, then number of moles of A plus you will be getting 2, and number of moles of B plus you will B minus you will be getting 2. Okay, you will see when there is number of moles of AB electrolyte is 2, when it is getting dissociated in the after passing electricity in its solution, then the number of moles of A plus ion you will be getting 2, number of moles of B plus ion will be getting 2 only. Then this electrolyte will be called as a strong electrolyte. When it comes to the weak electrolyte, so it is feebly dissociable, means it is not going to dissociate 100%. Degree of dissociation I have written over here is very less than 1. Okay, so it may be dissociated 30%, 40%. Okay, so if you are going to dissociate AC, if there are 2 number of moles of AC, then you won't be getting 2 moles of A plus and 2 moles of C minus. Okay, so for this electrolyte we used to write this is 100. Initially there is going to be A and C is not going to form. After passing electricity, if it is going to form 1 minus alpha, negatively forming number of alpha moles, and this is going to form alpha moles. That depends on the degree of dissociation. Okay, so I think already you all have studied in the ionic equilibrium topic. Okay, so if you don't have studied ionic equilibrium topic, then our institute Samarthya classes had made a separate video on the ionic equilibrium, and Himanshu sir had taken that lecture. So if you want to see that lecture, that is he's discussed all these things in very constant way, you will be able to understand 100%. Okay, so just go to the video of ionic equilibrium, then will you be able to understand everything over here. Already I have discussed about the weak electrolyte. In weak electrolyte, then in weak electrolyte degree of dissociation is very less than 1. So from there you can use solubility product, you can calculate solubility product, degree of dissociation, all these things. Okay, now this was the part of the types of electrolyte. Okay, so now again I am coming to the construction part of the electrolyte itself. So there was these two things. Now understand, I have already discussed NaCl. This is a strong electrolyte. Why? Because for a strong electrolyte, if you will see, there is a electrovalent bond. In a strong electrolyte, if you will see, there is an electrovalent bond. The ions get bonded with the help of electrovalent bond. Now, I understand what is the definition of electrovalent bond. Just understand one thing: the chemical bond which is going to be formed by the complete transfer of electron, then that chemical bond is called as the electrovalent bond. Okay, understand how the complete transfer of electron takes place. This is sodium. If you will see, the electronic configuration of sodium is 281, and this is chlorine having atomic number 7, and if you will see, that is 287. Now, if sodium is going to lose 1 electron and chlorine is going to accept 1 electron, then the octet of sodium will get completed and sodium will acquire a configuration of neon. And if chlorine is going to accept 1 electron, then the octet of chlorine will get completed and it will acquire a configuration of argon. Okay, so in this way you will see Na is going to transfer or lose 1 electron and chlorine is going to accept 1 electron. Okay, so in this way, if Na will lose 1 electron, then it will get converted into Na plus, and Cl is getting converted to NaCl minus, and after this it is going to form NaCl. Okay, here you can see there is a complete transfer of one electron from sodium to chlorine. That's why the bond which is going to exist in the sodium chloride, that is called as the electrovalent bond. Okay, I think up to this point you are all are clear now. Now understand one thing: if this NaCl solution is going to place in the this container, and if electricity is going to pass through it, then this NaCl solution will get dissociated into Na plus and plus Cl minus. I am taking it as a strong electrolyte, so that the conduction of electricity will be very fast. Okay, so our result will be very perfect. Okay, that's why I am taking the strong electrolyte over. Now here this is Na plus, so in this solution if you will see, then you can see there will be Na plus ion and there will be Cl minus ion. Okay, there will be Na plus ion and there will be Cl minus ion in the solution. Now what will happen here? So Na plus ion will get attracted towards the negative terminal. Okay, Na plus ion will get attracted towards the negative terminal. I am assuming it is a negative terminal and it is a positive terminal. Okay, so my dear student, if you will see here, so due to this negative charge, this plate will get totally and this with negative charge, and this plate will get totally and this with the positive charge. Okay, these types of scenario you can see in the solution. So Na plus is a positively charged, so here there is a deficiency of electron, so it will run towards the electrode having negative charge, and chlorine minus ion there is a dextrosity, means you can see that there is ample of electron cloud on the chlorine atom, so it will go towards the positive charge. These types of scenario you can see inside the electrolyte itself. So now understand one thing, what is happening here. If you are going to if you are going to start the connect this circuit with the help of battery, what will happen? The movement of this Na plus ion and Cl minus ion will start, and Na plus ion will run towards the cathode negative terminal, and Cl minus ion will run towards the positive terminal. Okay, due to this movement of ions, the electricity will get conducted inside the solution. So electrolyte already are discussed. Electrolyte are the substance which conducts electricity in the molten state when electric current is passed through it. Okay, so it is functioning very well. Now understand what is which types of reaction will be happening. So Na plus ions is moving towards anode, it will get an electron and it will be getting converted into sodium 0. Okay, now chlorine ion has there is ample amount of electron cloud on the chlorine ion, so it will be losing one electron and it will be getting converted into half Cl2 after losing of one electron. Okay, now since sodium is here in +1 oxidation state, it is getting converted into 0 oxidation state, so there is a decrease in oxidation state, and decrease in oxidation state, that reaction will be called as the reduction reaction. Now if chlorine is here in the -1 oxidation state, it is getting into converted into 0 oxidation state, so this oxidation state, this will be called as the oxidation reaction. These two types of reaction will happen, because already I have told you this reduction reaction and oxidation reaction is a complementary thing, because if the reaction is happening, if you are going to carry out a chemical reaction, then definitely if someone is going to lose electron, then definitely there must be a counterpart that should exist in the solution, that must be accepting that electrons which is lost by its counterpart. So if this reaction is reduction, then there must be a counterpart reaction which is acting inside the solution. Okay, now understand one thing, already I have discussed this is a reduction reaction, and since reduction reaction is occurring on the negative plate, and already I have told you where there is a reduction reaction, and if reduction reaction is occurring on any electrode, that electrode will be called as the cathode. That's why I have assumed this it will be working as a cathode. This negative plate will be working as cathode, and here chlorine is getting oxidized into Cl2 chlorine gas, so it is positive plate, and I have defined it as an anode. Okay, so just try to focus only two things. Whether there is a reduction reaction, then that electrode will be called as a cathode, and whether there is oxidation reaction, then that electrode will be called as the anode. These were the basic parts and how the electrolytic cell work. Okay, now I am going to discuss about the notation of electrolytic cell. It's the most important thing, because in examination the examiner won't be giving in the question this is anode, this is cathode, which will be this is a cathode product, this is anode product. This won't be given in the question. You will be given only notation part of the cell. Okay, in electrolytic cell. Understand one thing. First of all, you have to do in this way. Go in this way. Here you have to write electrolyte. Just you have to write the medium. Medium. Here electrolyte. and here this is concentration and one will be temperature. Okay, here you have to write, already you have to write this anode in this side and cathode in this side. Okay, so you have to write here is electrode material I am writing here. That will show anode is made up of which material. Here I am writing anode product. Here there will be a cathode product, and here you have to write cathode material. This is the basic things that you have to keep in your mind. Otherwise, you won't be able to solve the question, because you have to write, the question will be given in this way. I will show you the format in which way the question will be given in the examination. Okay, so I am just writing, I am just denoting this cell, because in this cell I am taking platinum as an inert electrode. Platinum as inert electrode. I think there must be a question arises in your mind that why we are taking platinum as an inert electrode. You can take any electrode, but generally we used to give the preference of an inert electrode. Why? The reason behind that is the electrode material should be chosen in this way that is not going to react with the electrolytic solution. Then the cell will be functioning very well. Otherwise, if it will be reacting with the electrolytic solution, then what will happen? Then definitely some amount of material of this electrode will be getting converted into this electrolytic solution, and after some time what will happen? The electrode will get vanished from this here. So you have to take the inert electrode. Okay, you can take any electrode, iron, copper, that depends upon the scenario, but generally we used to prefer to take the inert electrode. Now, if you are going to define this electrode, denote this electrode, then anode. Anode is this one, so just write platinum. Anode product. On anode you are getting sodium metal, so write sodium. Medium. Medium is molten NaCl, so I am writing here molten. Electrolyte. Electrolyte is NaCl. Concentration, you don't need to write concentration if molten is given. Okay, just don't need. Temperature, generally we used to carry out the cell reaction at 298 Kelvin, so just write 298 Kelvin. Now cathode product. Cathode product you have got chlorine, and cathode material you have taken as a platinum. So this was the part of the notation part. Okay, so I think up to this point you are all clear about that. Okay, so in the next topic I am going to discuss the so by the respect I am going to discuss about the electrochemical series. This will be series. My dear student, this is one of the most important thing for the electrolytic cell. If you will see, without this series you won't be able to solve the question of Faraday's law. Okay, so I am just going to discuss what is the significance of this series. So you can define the electrochemical series in such a way that the substance is getting arranged in increasing order of the reduction potential, standard reduction potential. Okay, so you can define the series of a substance in which the substance is getting arranged in increasing order of their standard reduction potential. Okay, so I am just writing here. Here, if you will go from, I have given the number 1, 2, 3, 4 to 23. So if you are moving from one number to 23 number, then you will see there is an increase in standard reduction potential. And already I have told you, already I have discussed how will we calculate standard reduction potential. For calculation of standard reduction potential, how we have calculated? I have taken the standard hydrogen electrode, SHE. For standard hydrogen electrode, I have assumed standard reduction potential is 0.0 volt and standard oxidation potential is 0.0 volt. And from there we have calculated the standard reduction potential. Okay. Now understand, if you will see, lithium plus is of the number of first in this electrochemical series, and chlorine is on the last number. Okay, so lithium plus has the lowest SRP, lowest standard reduction potential. Why? The reason behind that is, if you will see, lithium has a configuration of 2 and 1. So if lithium has to get it converted into lithium plus, then it has to lose one electron, and then it will be getting converted into lithium plus, and after that it will have a configuration of 2, that is the helium. It will acquire a configuration of helium and it will become stable. So lithium plus is not going to lose the electron. Okay, lithium plus is not going to accept any electron. Why? Because after losing one electron lithium has get converted into lithium plus and it has acquired a configuration of helium and it will becomes very stable. If you are going to supply one electron either or if it will accept one electron, then for this particular substance its stability will get vanished. It will get destabilized. Okay. Due to this particular reason, lithium plus is not going to be ready for the reduction. Okay. It will restrict the process of reduction, so it will have lowest reduction potential. Okay? And chlorine minus will have highest reduction potential. So I am writing here chlorine minus have highest SRP. Highest SRP. There may be so many substances you can see, but I don't think more than that 23 substance. I have accumulated all these things from different questions, different books, and I have gathered all these things here so that it will become very easy for you. Okay, and you can make the question very elevating. Now understand one thing: if you will move from lithium, potassium, calcium from up to chlorine, then you will see there is gradual increase in reduction, standard reduction potential of the substance. Okay. Now understand what is the significance of this thing. I am just roughing it out now. What is the significance of these things? We have arranged the substance in increasing order of the standard reduction potential. How it will prevent and how it will give an advantage. How it will be advantageous for the study of electrolytic cell. Understand one thing. Already I have discussed the substance which have highest standard reduction potential will get reduced first. Okay. So you have to see two substances. Just understand one thing. There is A and there is B. A has reduction potential of 1.04 volt and B has the reduction potential of 0.76 volt. So you have to identify which substance will get reduced first. So A has SRP, this will be the SRP, standard reduction potential. A has highest SRP 1.40, that's why A will get reduced first as compared to B. Means order of reduction. Okay, this was the thing. And my dear student, if you will see in electrochemical series, I have written hydrogen H2O, water at the number of 7, water is at 7 number, and another one water is at 21 number. Why I have written in this way? Understand. If water is at 7, it will be getting reduced, and if water is at 21, it is getting oxidized. Just remember in this way only. You don't need to focus on extra thing. If you are going to understand this thing, then definitely you have to practice 2 to 3 more questions, and after that you will be able to solve the question. Now, if your water is going to reduce, then water. This is the reduction reaction of water. And this is oxidation reaction of water. If in the question the examiner is asking, write down the reduction reaction of water, then you have to make the product hydrogen, and if water is getting oxidized, then it will be forming oxygen. Okay. Now balance this chemical reaction. There is H2O. So just multiply in this way. Just multiply with it 2. Now you can write it. There is 2 hydrogen, so you can write 2 OH minus and 2. Now understand one thing. There is 4 hydrogen, so you have to add 2 electrons in this. Okay. So for 2 H2O molecules, it is losing 2 electrons. So for 1, it will be losing 1 electron. So N factor for this reaction is also 1. Now understand one thing. There is 2 H2O. So multiplied with 2. Now there is 4 hydrogen. So here you have to add 4 hydrogen. There is 0 charge in left hand side. So you have to add 4 electrons. So for 2 moles of H2O, there is exchange of 4 electrons. So for 1 mole, there will be exchange of 2 electrons. So again, N factor for this reaction will be equals to N factor for this reaction, that will be equals to 2. Okay. In this way, that you have to understand. Now understand one thing. This was the reduction and oxidation reaction of water. Okay. Now H2, if you will see in the electrochemical series, I have written the hydrogen at number 15. Hydrogen is at 15 and having 0.0 volt of a standard reduction potential. Okay. Before hydrogen in electrochemical series, all the metal, all the substance which will have a negative reduction, standard reduction potential. Okay, before hydrogen, from 1 to 15, all the substance will contain negative reduction potential, and after hydrogen, there will be a 16 number of copper. It will have, already I have discussed in the galvanic state, 0.38 volt of standard reduction potential. So after hydrogen, all the substance will contain positive reduction potential. Okay. Now understand one thing: how we are going to use the electrochemical series in application part of the electrolytic cell. Okay. Understand one thing: I am taking an example of NaCl molten. NaCl molten electrolyte. Okay. I am just going to construct electrolytic cell, and I am just selecting the electrode is a platinum electrode. This is an inert electrode. This is platinum. This will be also platinum. This is an inert electrode. I am putting NaCl molten solution in this NaCl. So if you will see, this will become Na plus and this will become Cl minus in the solution. Now you are going to connect this with the help of a backsheet. Okay, this will be a negative plate, this will be positive plate, this will be working as cathode, this will be working as anode. My dear student, I have selected NaCl molten solution. Understand one thing: already I have discussed about the molten solution and aqueous solution. There is far difference between molten solution and aqueous solution. Why? Because the thing will becomes very different. Which product is going to be formed? Okay. At the time when you are going to determine the product, then the thing becomes very difficult for molten solution and aqueous solution. So just you have to differentiate in this way. Okay. So if there is a molten solution of NaCl, this is placed in the solution, then Na plus is there and Cl minus is there. Okay. Understand nothing? There is a Na plus and there is a Cl minus. If you will see, sodium is I think written at number 4 and chlorine I have written it at number 23. So chlorine is have Cl minus have more SRP, more standard reduction potential, and it has less standard reduction potential. So which will go for reduction? So it has more reduction potential and Na plus has less standard reduction potential. So understand one thing: sodium plus will go towards the negative terminal and chlorine will go towards the positive terminal. Okay. Chlorine will go towards the positive terminal. So in that condition, chlorine will, here this is a positive charge, so chlorine will leave getting converted to half Cl2 plus electron. Okay, chlorine will lose electron and will be getting converted to Cl0, and this reaction will be occurring at the anode. So we will be getting anode product as a chlorine gas. Now when it comes to the cathode, so at cathode, what I have told you, there will be a reduction reaction. So Na plus will go towards the cathode and will be accepting one electron and will be getting converted into Na0. So there will be these types of reaction will be happening at the cathode. So our cathode product will be sodium and anode product will be chlorine gas. These two things you will see when these types of reaction will be happening in the molten state. If you are selecting the NaCl solution as electrolyte and it will be in the molten condition. Now you have to write the notation part of the electrolytic cell. I am just writing the notation part. So I have told you, the first of all you have to write the platinum, which is electrode. So I have written the platinum. Electrode is made up of platinum, which is an inert electrode. Now we have selected cathode anode product. Anode product is chlorine gas. So I am writing here, this is the chlorine gas. Here I have told you, you have to write the phase. So molten state I have selected. Second one is that electrolyte was NaCl. Third one was temperature, concentration you don't need to write because you have selected the electrolyte in the molten solution. Okay, so here you don't need to write concentration, and temperature I think there is 298 Kelvin. Now this is cathode, that was anode. On cathode you are getting a product sodium. So I am writing it sodium as a product. Okay, sodium in the solid state that will get deposited on the cathode. Now cathode is made up of which material? So platinum. This is an inert electrode. So all these data that we have gathered from this information and we have put it in the notation part of the set. So the notation of all these covalent cell becomes very small in this way. Okay, so this was the notation part of the cell. And in the next lecture, we will be discussing about the Faraday's law, which is the quantitative part of the electrolytic cell. Okay, so that's for all today now. So thank you so much for today.